What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So obviously the Warriors this year had the worst record in the NBA, even though for like the last 5 seasons, like they've just been probably one the best team in the NBA, or at least top two best team in the NBA. And then suddenly now they went on a downfall. Obviously, a big reason of it being because KD left, Iguodala left, Curry was injured, Clay was injured. But today we're going to be looking into the future. So next year and maybe even further on, but mainly for next year, the future of the Golden State Warriors. Hopefully you guys enjoy. So what is the future of the Warriors looking like? So this year, basically, a few of the negatives were obviously that Klay Thompson was out for the entire season. Stephen Curry only played 5 games this season. Kevin Durant left. Andre Iguodala left, which makes them just not do as well as they did last season. At, uh, Obviously going from the second best team in the NBA to the worst team in the NBA. But I think the Warriors can win a championship next year, possibly, if if under some circumstances though, and if they make a good draft pick. So, anyways, let's get into it. And they obviously did have the worst record in the entire NBA. A few positives were though that the Warriors do now have the second overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft, which gives them the chance to draft James Wiseman. The young players got to play more than they would with Curry and Clay. If Curry and Clay were still in the did play this season, because now obviously they get more playing time, which is really good. Yeah, and then Draymond Green also got the experience being like the leader of the team, So, yeah. And then next year, I believe Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the Splash Brothers, are black. They'll obviously be back with Draymond Green, which will be great. I'm very excited to see that again. Um, Eric Pascal exceeded expectations, obviously considering he was he the Warriors. They were the second to best team in the NBA. So obviously they didn't get a very high draft pick, but they still drafted Eric Pascal, and he exceeded the expectations. Obviously Andrew Wiggins may not be as good as people thought when he was drafted with the number one overall pick, but he is very athletic and he can shoot threes. So in that sense, uh, he can shoot threes well. So in that sense, he's still a good player. So overall, the Warriors will again be a top contender next year as long as no one gets injured. I'm pretty sure, and they will be a really good team. And they will be a team really good at shooting. The Andrew Wiggins and Eric Pascal will also help out at attacking the paint for inside scoring, along with James Wiseman if he gets drafted by the Warriors as the second overall pick. So, Giannis, will they get Giannis? So now the Golden State Warriors have the second overall pick. The Warriors fans, especially, and the NBA fan base in general, were saying they may also acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I think since they have the second overall pick, they'll probably just pick Wiseman as the replacement for Giannis instead. But I'm gonna talk about that later in the video. So, however, I'm almost sure this won't happen. This is because Giannis is being offered by just the Bucks and also a bunch of other teams that want him a super max contract. So like basically around a $50 million contract. However, Curry is already on a 4-year, $201 million super max contract, and Clay is already on a 5-year, $190 million max contract. Because there's a thing obviously called salary cap, and Clay and Steph are on a max and super max contract, they can only offer Giannis a $30 million per year contract, which is nothing compared to the $50 million per year super max contract the Bucks are offering Giannis. So unless Giannis really only wants to win a championship and doesn't care about earning $20 million less than he would with many other teams per year, he won't sign with the Warriors. Obviously, even if his only goal is to win a championship, he could probably go to some other team that is offering him $50 million and will be a championship contender, already is, and especially will be even more of one if he joins. And the only other possibility of Giannis joining the Warriors, really, in my opinion, is if Klay or Steph leaves, or well, goes to another team. But that would kind of take away the big reason for why Giannis would sign with the Warriors and why the Warriors would try to sign Giannis. So now the Warriors obviously have the second overall pick. I'm going to be talking about that here, as I said earlier, I would talk about. So the Warriors almost 100% surely won't acquire Giannis. However, they do have the second overall pick. The second overall pick, many people, including me, think the Warriors will draft James Wiseman, which is a perfect like replacement for Giannis, even though he is nowhere near as Giannis yet. Obviously, they're not gonna have to pay him a supermax contract, nowhere near that. And in my opinion, along with many others, he's the perfect fit for the Warriors. James Wiseman is a 7'1" center with a 7'6" wingspan. He also has one of the highest standing reaches in the NBA with a 9'6" standing reach. Some people say he has a 9'3" standing reach, but even if it's just a 9'3" standing reach, that's already crazy. Just in case you don't know how much that is, just for comparison, an NBA hoop is 10 foot tall, well, high, whatever. So he basically barely has to jump to dunk. So basically, if he has like a 5-inch vertical, he can literally dunk. And he is also nearly 250 pounds, so he's pretty strong as well. Not the strongest though for a 7'1" player, but he's still pretty strong, I think. So this makes him the most physically impressive player in this year's draft. He can also actually run, and he also does have a pretty decent vertical. So in terms of basketball, he is really good at attacking the paint. He's really good at rim running. But unlike many bigs, since he is still a bit below the strength of a 7'1" center, and also in general, I think he doesn't like posting up too much. Even though he does do that, he likes to dribble for the pull-up jumper instead of doing something like posting up. He still does post up, and trust me, he's really good at posting up as well. He can shoot, but he wasn't too efficient in college. Actually, not just in college, also before that. Obviously, in college, he barely played, so I'm not really going to judge him off of that. But he was like in my opinion, like a Charles Barkley in terms of shooting threes. Charles Barkley, if you didn't know, attempted quite a bit of threes and wasn't too efficient. In my opinion, James Wiseman maybe attempts even more threes than Charles Barkley on the same efficiency, or well, around the same efficiency as Charles Barkley. So basically, he shot quite a bit of threes, but wasn't too efficient. And on the defensive end, he is good at blocking shots, but still, as of now, isn't the best. But with his physical traits, obviously, as I said earlier, he's a 7'1" center with a crazy 7'6" wingspan. He can be a really good defender and possibly even a defensive player of the year. If he played in the Warriors alongside Steph and Klay, he can also concentrate on attacking the paint and being a defensive anchor. With Steph and Klay, he can obviously learn from probably the best two shooters in NBA history, obviously how to shoot more efficiently. Obviously, that's really good because if you have two of the greatest shooters in NBA history and you're trying to improve your shot, that's going to be a big advantage. And he can also learn other things from Steph and Klay, such as passing. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. And also comment down below if you want to see any video in particular. I'm going to try my best to make it.